A small-scale snowfall. I predict that the extreme cold apocalypse is about to arrive, because my prediction hindered my boyfriend's Zai Qingmei project. My boyfriend reported me for fabricating predictions for personal gain. The day I was suspended for investigation, Xiao Qingmei mocked me, saying it wasn't just a simple suspension, and that I was about to lose my job. I glanced at the predicted date and cursed. Idiot, although I lost my job, you lost your own lives, from me. Do you have to submit this forecast report? The project is progressing rapidly. Do you know how much impact it will have on her when you submit this report and the whole city stops working? Do you know how long she has worked hard for this project? Recently, there have been a few small-scale snowfalls in City A, with not much accumulation and no serious impact. But I unexpectedly calculated the possibility of a frigid apocalypse. To corroborate my calculations, I worked almost day and night, calculating countless times, and the results were always the same. A massive snow disaster apocalypse is quietly approaching. However, my boyfriend is currently stopping me from submitting the forecast report, just so that his little project can proceed smoothly. In the Meteorological Research Institute, I looked at my boyfriend Song Yanting, who was being aggressive towards Jiang Zhaozhou, and found it utterly ridiculous. The current wave of returning home is in full swing, and without corresponding warning measures at this time. Do you know how many eager people will die untimely deaths? I pointed to the countless pieces of evidence on the computer and asked him, you study this too, right? You can understand these, can't you? Is your little green plum project more important, or is a life more important? Song Yanting impatiently cut off the power to all the computers. Do you think you're writing a science fiction novel? The current geological cycle has been stable for millions of years, so it is impossible to have such a large snow disaster. I see that you resent her simply because she became your superior right after you returned to the country. From me, you used to never be like this. How did you become like this? I am really disappointed in you. I wanted to say something else, but he interrupted me mercilessly. I'll ask you one question. Are you going to send this report or not? I looked into his eyes, not taking a step back. I must send. I can't joke with everyone's life. Song Yanting turned around and left, slamming the door loudly to express his dissatisfaction. I didn't have the time and energy to deal with Song Yanting's temper. After he left, I quickly organized all the data and sent it to the dean. This warning must be issued in advance, the earlier the better, so that everyone has enough time to prepare. But the dean's phone seems to be busy. I couldn't get through all night. I had no choice but to leave him a message, thinking that I would go to discuss it with him early tomorrow morning. The next day, I, who hadn't slept a wink, got up early and hurried to the research institute. As soon as I walked in, I found that the research position that originally belonged to me had already been taken by someone else. As for my things, they have all been thrown into the trash can beside me. The person who is currently calculating the position is Jiang Zhaozhou. She looked at me and blinked innocently. "Ah," Aiding said that you probably won't be able to return to this position in the next 6 months anyway, so since my project needs these tools, I'll take over. From Yi Jia. You don't mind, right? Oh right, you don't know why, do you? The dean is waiting for you in the office. Go in quickly. She is smiling and in a good mood. Song Yanting walked in and naturally handed her breakfast. When he noticed my presence, he didn't even blink and let out a cold snort. I sensed something was wrong and quickly walked towards the dean's office. As soon as I opened the door, a neatly compiled report came crashing down on me, hitting me right on the forehead. From me, you played a good trick by falsely reporting the predicted results for personal gain. I squatted down and picked up the report that was as thick as a brick. That is the printed forecast report of mine. A big red cross was marked on the cover. There is evidence inside, as well as various survival measures to cope with the extreme cold end of the world. It was all organized by me in one night without sleep, little by little. However, I think the dean probably didn't see it. I suddenly laughed. Do you still have the face to laugh? Do you also think your predictions are too outrageous and find yourself laughing at your own foolishness? If it weren't for Yan Ting telling me, I really wouldn't know that you have such great hostility towards Jiang Zhaozhou, to the extent of wasting the city's resources to stop her project. Do you know how much benefit the project of Jiang Zhaozhou could bring to the institute if it succeeds? When you are being jealous, Can you use your brain to think for a moment? While he was cursing, he released a recording. That is indeed my voice. The recording was edited, and after cutting off the beginning and the end, it turned into the absurd content of Jiang Zhaozhou is unworthy of doing the project. Jiang Zhaozhou should die. Looking at the dean's appearance, I suddenly felt a bit weary and had nothing to say. So what is the punishment for me from the courtyard? The dean's expression was cold. The preliminary decision is a 6-month suspension for observation. After 6 months of evaluation, if the performance is good, they can return and start from the bottom. I nodded and suddenly said as I turned to leave, I still hope the director takes a good look at my report. I did not falsify anything. He slammed the table and said, look at you, just looking at this pile of bricks makes me angry. Hurry up and get back. Close the door. I take a deep breath. If I cannot issue a warning in an official capacity, how should I remind others? While I was thinking about these things, Jiang Zhaozhou came before me. The other staff members gradually arrived at their workstations, all of them staring at me with strange expressions. Song Yanting was holding a box, inside which were some things that Jiang Zhaozhou had not had time to throw away. Almost all of them are meaningful couple items for me and him. For me, you should go back and calm down. Once the director calms down, I will go plead for you so that you can return to work early. Jiang Zhaozhou crossed her arms and looked at me with a face full of disdain. From Yi Jie, you really are causing too much trouble for a Ting. He is already busy with work, and you are being so inconsiderate. It's better this way. You should go back and calm down, and don't bring your personal emotions into work in the future. There are staff members echoing. Thanks to researcher Song for being righteous and cutting ties with her family. Otherwise we don't know how much trouble she would have caused us. I took the suitcase from Song Yanting's hands and then, right in front of him, threw it all into the trash can. Trash should stay in the trash can. Song Yanting's face looked extremely unpleasant. When I walked out the door, Jiang Zhaozhou followed me all the way to the entrance. Get lost quickly. You think it's just a suspension for observation. It's not. I told the dean that you hurt my feelings, and if you don't leave, I'll resign. You know what I mean. You should receive the news of your dismissal soon. I looked at the sky outside the house, and at this moment it was a very strange shade of white. No snow, no sun, no single cloud, silent and dead stillness. The perceived temperature is slowly decreasing at a speed I can sense. I turned around and smiled at Jiang Zhaozhou. Idiot, I lost my job, but you are about to lose your own life. When I got home, I ruthlessly packed up all of Song Yanting's things and threw them in the trash can, then quickly contacted the renovation company to reinforce all the doors and windows in the house, and asked them to install insulation materials in all possible places inside the room as quickly as possible. Please have the locksmith come over to replace it with a bulletproof level lock. According to predictions, this extreme cold apocalypse will arrive in 10 days. With temperatures reaching a terrifying -80 or 90 degrees, such temperatures only occur in the cold Antarctic. If there are no corresponding warming measures, a person can become frozen stiff in almost an instant. After that light snow, the temperature rose, and the weather forecast shows a temperature around 0 degrees, so everyone is not dressed too warmly. I am very sensitive to temperature. And the perceived temperature in Cydia nowadays is definitely not just around 0 degrees. I have been thinking about how to notify the public to pay attention to this crisis. Suddenly saw a post in a certain book. I feel that the weather forecast is becoming less accurate. It says 0 degrees, but I don't know why it's particularly cold. The popularity of this post is very high. The comments section is fiercely criticizing the unreliable weather forecasts, and amidst the laughter and noise, no one seems to take this strange phenomenon to heart. I quickly sent a private message to the poster. I posted a long comment related to disaster warnings, hoping to raise everyone's awareness and encourage early preparation, as well as a series of emergency plans for snow disasters, hoping to help everyone. But there are too many comments in the comments section, and my comment quickly gets drowned out by others. I request the poster to pin my long review so that more people can see it. I waited a long time but still didn't get a reply. but the backend clearly shows that the poster is online. This post gave me new ideas. I imitated the title of this post and then published related images and texts on various platforms, calling on everyone to prepare emergency plans. I don't know how many people can see this, but saving one is better than none. I tirelessly post one after another until it gets dark. The renovation workers took a break for a while and looked at their phones. When I started working again, I could feel their strange looks directed at me. At the same time, my book's backend received a message image. The successive bombardment of messages from other platforms that followed, I thought it was the post I made that had an effect. I first clicked into a certain book. It was that poster who replied to me, from E. Are you sick or not? What benefits do you get from doing this? Will my project stop because you spread panic? The director was originally struggling to find a reason to dismiss you, but now you've really given me something to hold against you. After reading the reply, I suddenly realized that the poster is Jiang Zhaozhou, and those background messages from the frying pan indeed show that the post went viral, but almost all of them are here to criticize me. I checked the local trending searches. Hashtag a certain meteorological researcher falsely reported forecast results for personal gain and is now inciting the public to create panic. Hashtag a phone call suddenly came in. It is Song Yanting, from E. You now. Immediately, delete the post. Regarding your suspension report just submitted, you are now inciting the masses again. Are you crazy? I've looked at your data. Don't you think it's very strange? I tend to think that you made a mistake with the decimal point during your calculations, which caused the results to be magnified by hundreds of times. You listen, I am not blaming you for this. It's understandable for a girl to be jealous, but you can't let this sulkiness ruin your future. Hearing him lecture me in a serious manner, looking as if he was doing it for my own good, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. What are you laughing at? Wait for me. I'll be back right now. No, you don't need to come back. My house is off limits to bitches and idiots. After I finished speaking, I hung up the phone. He must have been quite angry with my words, and Song Yanting did not come to find me. I went to check that trending topic. The trending content includes my audio recording that was cut at both ends, as well as the forecast report message I sent to the dean. Jiang Zhaozhou can be considered an internet celebrity in this regard, gaining fame early on for being both knowledgeable and attractive, with many fans online. Under the deliberate instigation of her fans, almost every piece of real-time content under this trending topic is insulting me. Everyone says that a timely snow indicates a good harvest. With this snow falling before the new year, I can't express how happy I am. I originally bought a ticket to go home joyfully, but then I came across this unfortunate post that said I shouldn't go out on the day I return home. Do you understand how annoyed I am? I'm just a bystander. I just think it's a bit too bizarre to predict an extreme cold apocalypse because of a light snowfall. Although the recent temperatures are indeed strange, they are still within normal ranges. An insider has come forward to say that this researcher has been unhappy with Zhaozhou for quite some time now, and it seems they finally couldn't hold back, probably fearing that Zhaozhou's project would succeed and lead to a promotion. In short, it's just ridiculous, even as researchers. They still want to compete over such serious matters and engage in palace intrigue. How petty is that? Wu Jing face. Soon, the official spokesperson of the Research Institute issued a statement. The relevant researchers have been suspended for investigation. Citizens can rest assured, normal work and travel can continue, and there is no need to panic. The trending topic quickly reached the top. The continuous barrage of insults swept in, and the situation was the same under all my posts. No one believes me at this time. Jiang spoke out early. At Jiang Zhaozhou v. I'm very sorry for taking up public resources. It's just some personal conflicts. She is not very rational, and I hope everyone will not attack her with extreme remarks. Do not dox her. It's getting cold. Please pay attention to keeping warm, and just go about your normal work and travel. Finally, I wish everyone a happy new year. The accompanying image is a photo of him making a heart gesture. Such a statement quickly won everyone's favor. Everyone praises her for her beauty and kindness, not holding grudges, repaying grievances with virtue, and almost all beautiful adjectives have been used to describe her. even marketing accounts are catching this wave of popularity, producing a bunch of videos titled "At Sisters Who Understands." There are actually such beautiful, capable, and kind top students in geography. Jiang Zhaozhou has captured this wave of popularity very well, stepped on me, occupying the trending searches for several days. Unlike her sweet remarks online, she is frantically shouting in the WeChat messages she sends me privately, "From you, you idiot, this is completely over now. Have you received the termination notice? I am sure that for the many years to come, no company in the relevant industry will dare to hire you, unless they don't care about their own reputation. So, are you satisfied with this result?" I did not reply to her. I have hidden all my posts, but I have not deleted them. Everyone says I feel guilty. I will take screenshots of the malicious comments below the trending topic, and I will also save the screenshots of the Research Institute and Jiang Zhaozhou's statements. Make a fuss, the bigger the better. It is best if everyone knows. I have done everything I can. It is best for someone to prepare in advance because of my early warning, but if not, I still have no regrets. As for Jiang Zhaozhou and Song Yanting, I am not a soft persimmon and will not let them insult me. But I won't let them die unprepared in the snow disaster. That's too easy and boring. In the last 3 days before the arrival of the extreme cold apocalypse, I have prepared all the supplies and the room has been transformed very well. Meanwhile, I left enough winter supplies for one person in the house across the door, but everything was hidden away and locked up. My floor has 2 households per staircase, and actually, the house opposite is Song Yanting's. At first, he moved in under the pretext that living together would enhance our relationship, and naturally enjoyed the convenience brought by my labor. His own house has been vacant for a long time. Moreover, he hasn't come back during this time, perhaps out of spite towards me. He has been very active on social media these days, and almost every photo, unintentionally, reveals some characteristics of Jiang Zhaozhou. Jiang Zhaozhou's circle of friends is the same. A colleague jokingly asked if there was going to be an official announcement, and sarcastically asked if there was a clean break with someone as brainless as me. In the last 3 days, the temperature has actually been very low. The temperature in City A has already dropped below the lowest value in its history, but because of the celebrity effect of Jiang Zhaozhou, the beautiful academic overachiever, and her repeatedly emphasized phrase, "normal work and travel," when she was trending, everyone believed it without doubt, putting their minds at ease, and no one worried that there would really be a problem. On the night of the second to last day, because the end of the world was approaching, I had some insomnia. Suddenly, the surveillance outside the door alerted me that someone was outside. I got up and took a glance at the surveillance. Interesting, it turns out to be Song Yanting and Jiang Zhaozhou. The 2 people were sneaking around, occasionally glancing at their surroundings. Afraid of being discovered, according to Reason, Song Yanting is going back to his own home, not doing anything wrong, so there's no need to be so cautious. But I noticed several large boxes by the feet of the 2 people. I can't see some boxes clearly and don't know what they are, but the outer packaging of one box is very obvious. That is a big box of warm baby products. It is reasonable to speculate that these large boxes should contain supplies for keeping warm. The sound of a voice came from the monitor. It was Jiang Zhaozhou's anxious and trembling voice. "Auden, are we really okay like this? Won't we be discovered? I don't think the temperature has reached the point where we need to prepare like this. And isn't the person across from us from E? What should we do if she sees and reports us?" Oh, it seems that 2 people feel that the temperature is a bit off, afraid that my prediction will come true. And also afraid of being discovered while hoarding supplies late at night. 2 people are transporting supplies box by box, and Song Yanting patiently answers her questions. "It's okay, better safe than sorry. There's no surveillance at the door, and it's late at night. She won't notice. I don't live in this room, so no one will suspect. The fingerprints weren't recorded for her. After the supplies are moved, I'll change the password, and it will be safe. We still have to be prepared. If there's no snow disaster, it's fine. If someone really finds out, we can just say it was deliberately planted by Yi to frame us. Anyway, I used Yi's name when I bought these things online, so don't worry." Jiang Zhaozhou finally felt at ease. After the 2 people moved the supplies, they changed the password before leaving. No one noticed the surveillance in the hidden corner across the door. After they left, I opened the door. What I have in my hand is a lock-picking tool that I bought at a high price from a locksmith. Well, I don't know if the two people who escaped from the disaster would be surprised or not to see the room completely empty. The last day of the countdown to the extreme cold apocalypse. I have made all the preparations and basically no longer go out. As for the supplies that Song Yanting and Jiang Zhaozhou moved over, they are all here with me now. This morning when I got up, it was particularly cold indoors. I put on a thick pajamas and got up to take a look outside the window. The sky outside the window is still that kind of dead white, but it remains quiet, with no signs of snow. I extended the thermometer outside to measure the temperature. Very abnormal. It turned out to be -15 degrees when I brought it in, although it is still within the range acceptable to the human body. Yesterday's weather forecast showed that today's lowest temperature is only -1 degree. About half an hour later, I had a hot breakfast and then extended the thermometer to take a measurement. This time, it is -18 degrees. The cooling speed is very strange, even faster than the accumulation of the previous many days. These days, someone occasionally pulls me out to mock me, and then goes on to praise Jiang Zhaozhou extravagantly. Recently, no one on the internet is unaware of this beautiful academic powerhouse from the geography department. She almost exhausted my last bit of value to create a persona for herself, but the reason I was so confident in submitting the report is that before making this incredible prediction, I was afraid my prediction would be wrong and almost recalculated it countless times. The results obtained are all exactly the same. With the current rate of cooling, I am becoming more and more certain. The extreme cold apocalypse is approaching, but today is also the peak of the homecoming tide. The street is actually very lively. Jiang Zhaozhou especially sent me a video early in the morning, just to make me a bit uncomfortable. In the video, she is dressed warmly, and Song Yanting is patiently wrapping a scarf around her. She looked at the camera with a provocative gaze and softly asked Song Yanting, "Auden, where are we going to eat hot pot? It's so lively on the street today." Everyone seems to be infected by the atmosphere and is out shopping. I wonder how Yi Jia is doing now. Does she dare to go out? Song Yanting's cold voice came through. Does she dare to go out? Going out means being treated like a rat in the street. Everyone wants to hit you. I'll take you to eat at a new Sichuan hot pot restaurant that just opened on the street to warm you up. Jiang Zhaozhou hooked her arm around Song Yanting's arm and happily agreed. The video ends here. And I pulled back the hand holding the thermometer, -20 degrees. Meanwhile, the snow outside fell silently. At first, this sudden snow, accompanied by the rush of returning home, seemed just right. Most people online are just exclaiming that a timely snow indicates a good year. It must be a good omen. The people returning home waiting for the bus at the station are in a good mood, with happy and content smiles on their faces, as the snow gradually changes from light snow to heavy snow. People feel that their winter clothing is as if it has malfunctioned. Gradually, some people began to feel that something was wrong, but once someone posts asking whether it is unusual, they will be attacked by the fanatical fans that Jiang Zhaozhou has cultivated, being accused of spreading rumors and meddling. Such doubts will no longer exist. The snow is getting heavier, and people dare not ask due to the pressure of online violence. And over here, those enthusiastic fans' main character Jiang Zhaozhou was almost live-streaming her sweet moments with Song Yanting to me at the beginning, until the increasingly large snowflakes fell in a flurry, quickly accumulating to form a thick layer, and Jiang also stopped sending messages to disturb me early on. I glanced outside and saw a collapsed power line. I guess it's because the phone has no signal. The snow started falling at 3 in the afternoon, and in less than 4 hours, it became increasingly intense, almost blocking out the sky and the sun, affecting even normal visibility for people. More and more power lines are being crushed, utility poles are being broken, and even the signal towers are experiencing problems. The signal on my side is still barely holding up. Soon, the surveillance outside the door alerted me that someone had appeared. That must be Song Yanting and Jiang Zhaozhou. Auden, do we really need to hide here? It's just heavy snow. But I have a live stream tonight. How can I prepare for that? Song Yanting seemed a bit anxious and rarely did not follow her lead in conversation. Listen to me, today we are hiding here. There are plenty of supplies. If the snow stops tomorrow we will leave. I hope it's just an ordinary heavy snow. At the same time, a piece of news quickly topped the trending searches. #Blizzard is coming, the return home tide is paused. Is the prediction true? There are still fans of Jiang Zhaozhou being stubborn. Are you starting to worry it's the end of the world? If you were in the north, you'd probably be scared to death every day, making a fuss. I'm going to have a snowball fight. Snow. I'm going to build a snowman. Some support it, while others are afraid. I am afraid to go out to stock up on supplies, but due to the lack of preparation and the difficult roads, the supermarket closed early, and I am very worried at this moment. Ridiculed by fans as an alarmist, here, Song Yanting and Jiang Zhaozhou opened the door. Auden, I'm so cold, can you spread the electric blanket later? I also installed a pinhole camera indoors. Song Yanting did not respond to her. Jiang Zhaozhou turned her head in a daze, following Song Yanting's gaze that looked as if he were about to eat someone. What supplies are there? Song Yanting punched the wall. Damn, from me. It must be from me. I estimate that Song Yanting's fist is frozen hard. And at this moment, it is colliding hard against the cold wall. I saw the expression on his face crack for a moment. Jiang Zhaozhou has no courage and only cries when faced with problems. Song Yanting's angry shout startled her, and she began to cry anxiously. She tugged at Song Yanting's sleeve, trembling as she asked him what she should do. How about we go back to my house? There's nothing here. We'll freeze to death. Song Yanting's mood was not quite right. He pointed at the heavy snow outside that had completely obstructed the view. Go back? How can we go back like this? You should think before you speak. Jiang Zhaozhou showed weakness and softly apologized, which eased Song Yanting's emotions a bit. He just eats this set, but in the end, in the face of life and death, any kind of coquetry will be useless. Song Yanting finally found a quilt in the wardrobe that he hadn't used for a long time, not thick enough. But there's nothing that can be done. The two people curled up together, tightly wrapping the quilt around themselves, yet still, they couldn't stop shivering. At this moment, Song Yanting still had some thoughts of cherishing the delicate, and he would desperately rub his hands together to warm Jiang Zhaozhou, and then experience the thrill of being a hero in Jiang Zhaozhou's endless thank yous. This is the first night, and the two of them are struggling to fall asleep in each other's arms. The outdoor temperature at this time is -35 degrees. What the two people didn't know was that as the first frozen corpse was discovered at the station during the night, more and more bodies began to trend online. At this moment, people were horrified to realize that my prediction seemed to be accurate. People did not have time to delve into how many lives Jiang Zhaozhou's speech actually cost. Only those who are close to the mall can quickly rush out in the wind and snow to grab supplies. The supermarket is closed, so just break it open. The convenience store locks up early, and some people are willing to use an axe to start chopping. Under the heavy snowfall, noise, cries, blood, and screams intertwine, shocking to the eye. Some even took advantage of the chaos to start $0 purchases, grabbing valuable items and running away. Under the threat of life in the coming apocalypse, the evil of human nature is fully exposed. After surviving the first night, Song Yanting was awakened by the cold. The blanket on him had almost all been rolled away by Jiang Zhaozhou, and his gaze was somewhat unfriendly, but he still pursed his lips and stood by the window, wanting to see the current situation. Unfortunately, the snow hasn't stopped and is even getting heavier. There are no pedestrians outside the window, only broken trees. It appears that the snow has already reached above the normal person's thigh level. It took less than a day. Song Yanting clenched his fist and closed his eyes tightly. Auden, I'm so hungry, so cold. Jiang Zhaozhou seemed to have suddenly thought of something and abruptly looked up. Auden, there must be a lot of supplies for me. Let's trick her into opening the door, and then push that bitch out. The light in Song Yanting's eyes brightened, and I smiled. He arrived at my doorstep. He knocked on the door vigorously. For me, you won. You are right. Let me in. I don't blame you anymore. At this moment, I am sipping hot milk tea and have deliberately turned on the intercom function of the outside surveillance. The sigh of satisfaction. He should have heard it too. Jiang Zhaozhou was wrapped in a quilt, shivering, standing behind him, and at this moment was also showing weakness to me. I lazily slumped on the sofa, my languid voice reaching the ears of the two. Did you forget what I said? My house, no bitches and idiots allowed. The expressions on the faces of the two people were extremely unpleasant. I picked up my phone and sent a message to Song Yanting. There is a self-heating rice meal for one person and a warming pad for one person under the bed in your guest room. How about that? I'm quite considerate, right? That is the amount for one person in a day. Then I sent a message to Jiang Zhaozhou again. This will be the first and last message sent to her. On the third shelf, fourth compartment of the storage cabinet in the utility room, there is an axe. Keep going, stay alive. The two people returned to the room, each with their own thoughts, but neither of them explained the messages they received to the other. As soon as Song Yanting entered the house, he pressed his lips together and went into the guest room. But what surprised me was that he didn't keep the precious self-heating rice to himself, but instead took it out to share with Jiang Zhaobao. Also, without having truly felt the threat of death, he still harbored a bit of affection. Jiang Zhaozhou was extremely touched. The two shared the food, taking bites alternately. It was so warm and cozy, but she still didn't mention the matter of the axe. At the same time, the elevator that had not yet lost power rang. The man who came out is a fierce and intimidating muscle man. If I'm not mistaken, he is holding a long stick in his hand. I know him, he is a resident downstairs, and he is not very easy to get along with. His target is not me, but Song Yanting's house. Bang bang bang. The sound of knocking startled the two people inside the room. Song Yanting put down the lunchbox and cautiously got up to look outside through the peephole, but the man suddenly leaned close to the peephole as if he had a sense. Song Yanting was startled. Open the door. I know there's someone inside. My wife and daughter have been hungry all day. I know that you secretly brought a lot of things over a few days ago in the middle of the night. Lend me some, I can pay. He didn't notice me because I basically avoided the times when he was at home while delivering supplies. As for Song Yanting, besides him noticing it himself, I also reported in the owner group that the neighbors were too noisy that day. He can naturally think of that. Jiang Zhaozhou pulled Song Yanting and shook her head at him. The two people remained silent, tacitly indicating that they would not open the door. The muscular man waited for a long time without any response and was already very impatient. Old man, if you don't want to save your life while carrying so many things, just wait for me. Without saying much, he swung the long stick and started smashing the lock. Each sound made the two people in the room feel alarmed and terrified. The fragile lock couldn't withstand the brute strength of the muscular man and soon became unusable under the strain. The muscular man burst in, and Jiang almost used all his strength in an instant to push Song Yanting out. Big brother, it's him. He's the one who won't let me open the door. You should look for him. It has nothing to do with me. I can clearly see the incredulous expression on Song Yanting's face in the surveillance footage after he was pushed out. It looks even worse than having eaten a fly. After Jiang finished pushing Song Yanting away, he shrank into the corner, holding his head, not daring to make a sound. As for Song Yanting, he didn't have time to settle accounts with Jiang Zhaozhou before being slammed against the wall several times by the muscular man, and his forehead started to bleed. The muscular man questioned him. Your mother looks so decent, yet you won't even share a bit of resources with me. Then don't blame me for stealing. After the muscular man finished scolding, he threw aside Song Yanting and began searching the whole room, but he gained nothing. The muscular man, infuriated and embarrassed, once again grabbed the stunned Song Yanting and slapped him twice in the face. Where did you hide the supplies? If you don't speak now, when I find you later, you're dead. Song Yanting stared intently at Jiang Zhaozhou, suddenly raising his hand and pointing with a trembling voice towards the opposite door. My doorstep, big brother, I really don't have it here. It's all across the street. She not only hoarded a lot of things herself but also stole mine. Go ask her for it, big brother. Go smash her door. I really have nothing here. The man looked around suspiciously and really couldn't find anything. So he came to my door and repeated the process just now. He was still holding the long stick that had smashed the lock of Song Yanting's door. Song Yanting retreated with lingering fear, his eyes still carrying a sense of vengeful pleasure. I leisurely snuggled in the recliner, ignoring the muscle man knocking on the door. The muscular man lost his patience and began to lift a long stick to smash my door lock. Smash it. Go ahead and smash it. If you can break it, I admit defeat. After the modification was completed, I tried testing with a chainsaw. But it all failed. The chainsaw even got damaged. What good is brute force? Moreover, there is a self-set alarm at my door that sprays water directly at suspicious individuals. It's -40 degrees, and dripping water turns to ice. A jet of water sprayed on the man, turning into ice cubes that drilled into his collar, making him shiver, after failing to break down the door and getting chilled to the bone. The man erupted after a moment of silence. "Fuck, do you dare to mess with me?" Song Yanting was once again pressed down by the head and slammed against the wall, leaving his entire forehead a bloody mess. The muscular man gave up only after he ran out of strength, kicked Song Yanting once, and then left. Song Yanting lay on the ground like a pile of rotten mud, and the blood he spat out quickly froze. He slowly crawled in through the door and raised his head to ask Jiang Zhaozhou, "Are you satisfied?" Jiang Zhaozhou replied to him with a crying tone, "What can I do? If I don't do this, I'll be beaten to death." Song Yanting did not respond to her and struggled to get up. Jiang Zhaozhou flatteringly sticked the warm baby on him, but he didn't react much. The two people spent the second day in silence. At this moment, the temperature has dropped to -60 degrees, the signal is starting to waver intermittently, and the power system is also beginning to malfunction. Owners in the group are constantly crying out for help with winter supplies and food, but basically no one is responding. Everyone is trying to protect themselves. At this time, if one reveals that their family has supplies, it is undoubtedly seeking death. I basically lie in bed to conserve energy, although I have prepared enough electric blankets and heat packs. The heat they provide is limited and can only prevent me from freezing to death. I don't want to waste it. I sent a message to Song Yanting. It is again the single portion supplies for the second day. Song Yanting avoided Jiang Zhaozhou to check the news. He got up and excused himself to go to the bathroom. When Jiang realized early on that there was a fragrance coming from the bathroom, Song Yanting has already locked the door and finished eating. This time, he didn't leave her anything at all. Jiang Zhaozhou realized this and glanced at my message again. Is it to confirm the position of the axe? Song Yanting walked out with a normal expression, facing Jiang Zhaozhou's resentful gaze. He had no reaction at all. As for me, taking advantage of the signal about to disappear, I informed Song Yanting of all the supplies for the next month. These supplies may not be enough for one person, but they can maintain the minimum vital signs for survival. If my prediction is accurate enough, this extreme cold apocalypse will last for about a month. Who will survive a month later? Before the power system collapsed, several teams had searched around, because climbing walls in outdoor temperatures of -80 degrees will definitely lead to freezing to death. These people who are snatching supplies can only rely on the elevators that have not yet malfunctioned to travel. The lock on Song Yanting's door was damaged, and the two of them had basically no ability to fight back. The house was searched everywhere, but no usable supplies were found. And they were just beaten and kicked a few times. Some even suggested that if the two people froze to death here, when there was really no food, they could be divided and eaten. Scared, Jiang broke down and cried early. She pointed at my door and said I must have supplies, and as a result, a group of people started smashing and kicking it. My door remained unmoved, and the group got angry, so Jiang Zhaozhou and Song Yanting got beaten up again. Song Yanting remained silent, not saying a word. Later, the power system completely collapsed, and all signals disappeared. I have locked all the stairwells on my floor, the elevator is out of service, and no one is coming up anymore. The surveillance has lost signal. I no longer watch the surveillance, I just count the calendar every day, hoping the end of the world will pass quickly. On the 15th day, the temperature had reached a terrifying -80 degrees. The heavy snow outside the window has hardly stopped. At this speed, there should be low-level residents buried by the snow. I no longer hold the thermometer out to measure the outdoor temperature, because my hand would be frozen solid. I almost bury myself in the blanket every day. It's just too cold. It was on this day that, in a drowsy state, I heard a scream from outside the door. The man's scream. What followed was a faint sound of pleading and crying, which I couldn't hear very clearly, but it seems to be useless. I heard the huge sound of blades chopping through bones again, one sound after another, one movement after another, chilling to the bone. The temperature dropped below my estimate on the 25th day, reaching a terrifying -90 degrees. Fortunately, it has rebounded from the bottom. On the 26th day, it began to slowly rise again. On the 30th day, I unexpectedly found that the signal began to become intermittent. On the 35th day of the apocalypse, the snow stopped. The temperature has risen to -30 degrees. We heard the sound of the rescue team for the first time. This is undoubtedly the best news, but in our building, I didn't hear much noise of celebration. Approximately, there were not many survivors. So, what about the other side? On the 40th day of the apocalypse, the temperature returned to 0 degrees, the clouds parted, and people saw the sunlight for the first time after the end of the world, symbol of rebirth. I finally crawled out from under the thick, suffocating blanket to greet this ray of sunshine. On the 41st day of the apocalypse, after all-out repairs, the power system and signals have all been restored. I finally turned on the air conditioning for heating and let out a satisfied sigh. At the same time, I heard a cheer coming from across the way. It is a woman's voice. I survived. I survived. I'm still alive. Then there was a violent cough. All social media platforms have started to resume operation. The top trending topic is this unprecedented and terrifying snow disaster apocalypse. The owner group is silent. The second hottest search following the apocalypse is a shocking report. Hashtag the return home tide becomes a tide of corpses. Hashtag specific reports on the number of deaths during the return home wave in various places. Hashtag whether at the train station waiting for a train or at the airport waiting for a flight, travelers. Due to insufficient measures for keeping warm and food, and with rescue efforts hindered by heavy snow, we're almost all affected. The stations and airports in various places have almost become huge morgues. As for the vehicles already on the road, they are equally hard to escape, slowly dying in the heavy traffic. Everyone is filled with excitement and anticipation waiting to go home. But they died at the starting point and on the way home. This apocalypse has taken away nearly 1/3 of the population. So, what about the source? If an emergency plan could have been made in advance, would the results still be so shocking? I silently laughed at Jiang Zhaozhou, who was so excited that she seemed crazy. The apocalypse she should face has just arrived. Song Yanting is dead, but the police only found a corpse. He was devoured. I have made all hidden posts public and published a new post, the content of which is a previously saved screenshot, instantly topped the trending searches. Jiang Zhaozhou's fervent fans no longer speak. It may be due to a lack of reason, or it may be that it simply couldn't survive. But Jiang was unaware early on. She even rushed out, wanting to go home, to embrace her new life and celebrate that she had survived. But as soon as she rushed out, she was recognized by someone. The first person blocked her, with red eyes, kicked her, slapped her, demanding her to return her own parents. The three characters, Jiang Zhaozhou, are now too well known. Then comes the second person, the third person. Some people use their hands and feet, while others use a kitchen knife. More and more people gathered together, filled with grief and anger, finding it hard to calm down. By the time the police arrived, everyone had scattered like birds and beasts. Leaving only Jiang Zhaozhou lying in a pool of blood, she opened her eyes wide and refused to close them.